Republican Harriet Hageman spent years as a constitutional and natural resources attorney before winning her race to be Wyoming's sole U.S. House member in the 118th Congress. The fourth-generation Wyomingite told C-SPAN about her legislative goals and why she ran against a fellow Republican in the state's 2022 election.
I replaced Liz Cheney.
Why did you run against her?
Well, Wyoming only has one congressional representative, and we need to make it count. And for the last several years, Liz Cheney has not been representing Wyoming well, and she has been addressing issues that, frankly, are not significant to Wyoming in light of the challenges that we do face. Wyoming is the largest coal producer in the nation. We have huge oil and gas reserves, large ag production, lots of ag in the state of Wyoming. Those are issues that the current administration has been attacking for quite some time. And Liz Cheney wasn't focusing on those issues, she was focusing on something else. And so we needed to have representation, and I made the decision to run against her and to retake Wyoming's lone congressional seat.
Did you hear from her after you won the seat in November?
Well, there was a bit of a snafu, I think. Her party, or whatever I guess you'd call it, her watch party was out in the country in Teton County, and I think that there must have been a technical issue. She called, but all she said was, "Hi, Harriet." And I do believe she probably left a message, but I never received it. I was getting ready to go on with my watch party at the very time that she called.
What were you doing before you ran for this seat?
I am a water and natural resource and constitutional attorney. So I've been practicing law for going on 34 years, a trial attorney during most of that. The last couple of years I have worked for a nonprofit law firm out of Washington, D.C., focused specifically on the issues of attempting to rein in the unlawful and unconstitutional administrative state. So I lived in Wyoming and telecommuted through much of that time, but worked on cases all over the United States, challenging the CDC's eviction moratorium, for example, challenging the EPA's unconstitutional taking of property in Colorado when they blew out the Gold King mine and destroyed the Animas River. So I did a lot of property rights work. I've done a lot of water work over the years, representing a lot of natural resource issues, so representing farmers and ranchers, irrigation districts. I was involved in the Cargill case down in Texas. The Fifth Circuit came out just a couple of weeks ago on Cargill versus ATF, finding that ATF did not have the authority to declare bump stocks to be machine guns. So I've done a whole variety of cases, but it's mostly lately in the constitutional arena, but for a long, long time in the water and natural resource arena.
Born and raised in Wyoming?
I was.
And what about you says Wyoming?
Well, I'm a fourth-generation Wyomingite. My great-grandfather came to Wyoming in 1878 on a cattle trail from Texas. And I grew up on a ranch outside of Fort Laramie, and I went to Casper College on a livestock judging scholarship. And then that's a community college in the center part of the state. Then I went to the University of Wyoming, where I received both my bachelor's degree and my law degree. As I said, the kind of work that I have done representing all different kinds of organizations and businesses, families in the state of Wyoming, protecting our irrigation projects, protecting our irrigation districts, our municipalities, working for ag, working for oil and gas, working for the resource producers. What I say is that I work for those people who put food on your table, gas in your car, and a roof over your head.
What do you hope to accomplish in Congress?
Well, there are several things. So I have been appointed to two committees. I'm on Natural Resources and Judiciary, and there's going to be a very important oversight component to both of those committees. But I also have been very honored to be appointed on the select subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government. With the work that I've done over the last 25 years especially, it's very clear that the federal government and federal agencies have really gone rogue. They have too much power, too much money. Congress is no longer legislating. They've abdicated their responsibility and turned the legislative role over to unelected bureaucrats and administrative agencies. We need to turn that around. We are a republic. We're a representative form of government. We need to get back to our constitutional foundation so that the people that we put in positions positions, such as in Congress or in the state legislature or the presidency, that they're actually the ones that are making the decisions and are held accountable to the people. So for me, I think it's going to be a very important oversight role of what these agencies are doing and the extent to which they are exceeding their scope and authority, their legal authority to act. That's important. I also think it's important that we address the budget. We're at almost $32 trillion in debt. We're running out of runway. We've got to change where we're going in this country. We've got to get back on a fiscal, an appropriate fiscal track. And so there's a lot of things that we need to do. But I think with the committees that I'm going to be working on, it's going to be making sure that we are energy independent, that we are food independent, protecting our resource producers, and really trying to get the federal government out of people's lives.